Hey guys, MOTO Mike here. So today we're going to be discussing how to adjust the windshield on the 2019 Kawasaki Ninja 650. It does work for the 17 through 19 years model, so we should be good. So let's get right into the video. So you first start off by using a 3mm hex key, Allen key. You loosen these four up. There is some rubber washers. Just make sure you don't lose those because that could be a pain in the butt. So unscrew all four, and then we'll get right into the next step. Alright, so here we go with the windshield removed. I did leave the screws in there with the washers on there. It did come off after I loosened them up enough. This thing's pretty dirty. I gotta wash it. Actually, I gotta wash the whole bike. I just need some TLC after it's been in the garage for a couple months. But long story short, you remove this piece, you remove these 4 3mm hex keys, and then you'll have access to the brackets that hold the windscreen. There's these 2 brackets that you can adjust in 4 out of these 4 holes. There's 2 upper and 2 lower. So basically what you're going to do is to adjust it to the medium height, you're going to use the middle 2. To adjust it to the top height, you use the upper 2, and to put it in the lowest height, you use the bottom 2. It is currently in the bottom 2, and I want to put it all the way up to the top. All right, so a couple things to note: when you do take the windshield off, you don't want to lose these bushings that are inside this bracket. They are used to reduce vibration and help the windshield stick on there better. So just be careful not to lose these or remove these when you are taking off the windshield. Second, so these little suckers are pretty hard to remove. I was able to break them loose, so I just got to finish unscrewing them, but you will need a 3mm hex Allen key to remove it, the same as the windshield. So luckily not that many tools are needed for this installation. So once you break them loose, you can grab them by hand and de-thread them. This is a pretty tight space behind there. So look, I was able to break it loose. Basically, all of the bracket sizes have a nut welded to them that allow you to screw it in. So once you get the screw out, you don't have to worry about losing a nut on the back. But let me go ahead and get the rest of these other 4 taken off. I got the 2 brackets off with the 4 screws. Here's what they look like when they're off. And again, here's what we do to change the height. So as I said before, there's 4 holes, right? Bottom 2 are the lower height, which is where it was at. Middle 2 are the medium height. And the upper 2 are the higher height, where I'm going to adjust it to. So basically, to reassemble it, it is the exact same process, but in reverse. So you're going to now move the brackets to which height you want, right? You're going to re-screw in the brackets using the 4 bolts that cut 3mm Allen key hex key bolts. Then from there, when the bolts are when the brackets are correctly on, you're going to reassemble the windshield to it. All right, so what I ended up doing is finger threading these 3mm hex Allen key bolts back in to the high position. As you can see, we have the 2 bottom ones free, and I didn't use the 2 middle ones, so I'm in the high position. So I hand threaded them in there. It was a little bit tricky, but with both fingers and a little bit of effort, I was able to get them both in there correctly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten them, and then from there, we're gonna have the last step of reinstalling the windshield. All right. So last but not least, it's just, oops, that fell. It's just getting this seated onto the bracket correctly. Let's go ahead and do it this way. Just gonna have it seated on there, and then I will tighten it as we go. Actually, I'm gonna give a little bit of a hand thread for now. That way I can not have things flopping around, but, oh shit, now I lost that screw. Oh, there it is. But yeah, you find it, hand seated on there, hand thread it first, makes it easier. Bada bing, bada boom. And then you just repeat, crap, I lost one of those washers. You just repeat that step 4 times, there it is. And then, bada bing, bada boom. You have the windshield reinstalled, and should be good to go. If anything vibrates, I would just give it a second look once you test ride it. Make sure everything's on there correctly, and then repeat as needed. when tightening it, just make sure you don't crack it, because that'd be the last thing you want to do, is have to redo this due to cracking the windshield due to over tightening. So just be careful when you do tighten it back up. You want it snug, because obviously this is going to be withstanding the force of winds at multiple speeds. So you want it tight and you want it sturdy, but you don't want to crack it. So just be very hesitant as you're installing it.